And now, Fairfax Breakfast Club with your host, Bazil Lemba.
Hello, and welcome to the Fairfax Breakfast Club show. My name is Bazil Lemba, and I will be your host. The Fairfax Breakfast Club is a weekly program in which we bring you valuable and workable know-how you can use to improve your networking and grow your business. We always start the show with a quote, and let me say that this show will be covering a very precise subject, and that is sales. And here is a quote from one of the finest books on sales, and you can see the picture of that book on the screen. The salesman can arrange the interview. He can demonstrate the product, but those last few minutes, when he actually goes for the close, are the most critical. This is the point at which he will either get the sale or fall on his face. His time and effort wasted. This is when he needs some quote-unquote big league closing techniques. And that is for Les Dane and the book you can see here. Today, with us in the studio, we have someone who has a fair amount of experience in sales. That's what we brought her name. Her name is Yvette. Hello, Yvette.
Hi, Mr. Bazil. How are you, sir?
Good, very good. Excellent. Now, tell us, we know you have had several businesses and currently you have a catering business.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, why don't you please tell us, allow me, I'm going to backtrack over here. I would like to frame the discussion or the value of it today on this show. Most people do not like sales at large. And I believe this is a problem. Mm-hmm. Because for us to have exchange, for us to have economy, yes, we need sales.
Yes.
No sales mean no economy.
Correct.
So to me, the reason having this show is because sales is fundamental, we have to have it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why don't you tell us then, what is the sales process for you?
When you're looking at sales, you're looking at it from a big picture, but mm-hmm. you want to be able to crawl before you walk. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is that you want to see what your target is going to be in the marketplace of commerce. Mm-hmm. So who are you targeting? What is it? Is it going to be corporate America? Is it going to be churches? Are you going to put yourself in front of different vendors and expos for weddings and things of that nature? Mm-hmm. Are you going to go into the public school system mm-hmm. to basically sell yourself? Because it's all about selling yourself right. and knowing what you need to do in the process. So you mm-hmm. look at those verticals. Mm-hmm. And what I just mentioned to you are verticals. The churches, corporate America, the school systems, vendor shows, business expos, to get yourself that exposure that is out there. Mm-hmm. And once you do that, whether it be by cold calling or whether it be by door knocking, you then start to create what I call as a funnel. Mm-hmm. And in that funnel, you begin to build up your pipeline. Mm-hmm. So you want to create for yourself a nice spreadsheet. You want to collect all the information and put it into that database. Mm-hmm. And as you begin to grow that funnel and that pipeline begins to get full, you have now a scope of churches, corporate America businesses, expos, vending shows, school systems, colleges and things of that nature now to derive offer. You go back in and you do business presentations, you can do taste testings, you can just offer them looking on what you have maybe displayed from other venues. You bring in copies of information to capture their attention. Mm-hmm. Once you have that going on with the funnel and then you're building that pipeline and then you begin to get business, then from that business you want to gain referrals mm-hmm. because someone knows someone who will need someone in that arena of sales and depending on what you are selling.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Now tell me, in sales,
yes.
What do you consider your biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge is getting to the decision maker. Mm-hmm. Because what I've found in the industries is that you always have someone called the gatekeeper. Mm-hmm. That's someone who answers the phone mm-hmm. and basically screens the calls. Mm-hmm. May I please speak to Bob Smith? Well, I know that Bob Smith is the owner and operator of that company. Mm-hmm. But the person that answers the phone is going to screen it and say, well, why do you want to speak to Bob Smith? my name is Yvette America. I'm calling beyond the business because this is some services I would like to give to him or offer to him. And then at that time, she'll go, put me on hold 9 times out of 10, come back and say, well, Mr. Bob Smith is not available. May I take a message? So you got to be able to get around the gateway. And when I get a lot of apprehension or pushback from that, what I do then now I make myself available in person. Because over the phone and speaking to people sometimes could really be very difficult to reach the decision maker. Therefore, now you show up in your business attire, your presentation, brochure, business cards, and now you want to come in. And you may not be able to see Bob Smith that day, but now you'll be able to leave him some literature, some business cards as a point of contact. And then hopefully they'll pass it on. If not, you show up again, depending on how instrumental you want to be in gaining that company's business.
Very good. Now, a question for you. Have you ever heard about this book called Selling to the Veto?
No, I haven't.
It's Selling to the Veto is V.I.T.I.O. V-I-T-O. It stands for Very Important Top Officer. Was written by a guy who has an Italian name. I highly, highly recommend it.
Okay.
In the subject of books that are read by sales, that one stands above them all.
Okay.
This is what he teaches. They teach in any business,
Yes.
any company, there is a person that is a key decision maker.
Yes.
In public relations, it's called OL, meaning opinion leader.
Yes.
Like in any group, you have one person to whom people listen to. But it does not mean a specific post title.
Right.
It's not necessarily the CEO or the president or the owner. It can be any one of those persons, but it's not necessarily the CEO. Kind of like in a family. In a family, the kid can say, the dad can come and say, well, we're going to eat tonight at McDonald's.
Yes.
And all the kids turn to auntie. Auntie, are we going to McDonald's? Why? Because they listen to auntie,
Right.
not the dad, who
Right.
pays, mind you.
Right.
The aunt is what they call the opinion leader.
Okay.
In this book, he teaches you to find out who is the veto
Okay.
and how to reach him.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes. It is, to me, it is, I've read books just like anybody else and says, that one stands above them all.
It sounds as
Because that's true, that's the biggest challenge for salespeople. How do I get to him? But of course, the guy knows everybody and everybody else trying to get to them, so they have to protect him.
correct.
They have to put, otherwise he would be doing nothing all day, but receiving everybody.
Absolutely.
And that book teaches you exactly who will make the decision, because you could do a presentation to the CEO, but guess what? The whole company asks the CEO, "Oh, are we doing on this program or not?" You present it to him,
Yes.
but he's the one making the decision. He does not have your information,
Right.
so he cannot say even yea or nay. And being that he does not have the information, he's going to say no.
Correct. Yeah.
You see?
I see, absolutely. And what you usually find is that I'm very familiar with that, but never knew what it was called. And basically, that OL person really is the person that has a great influence to the leader of that company.
Absolutely.
9 times out of 10,
Yes.
it's his right hand.
Yes. If he say yea, it's happening.
Yep, yep.
If he say no, it's not happening, no matter what.
He highly values his opinion.
He is the one, like the auntie in the family. The
Yes.
dad say, "I'm paying. We're going to McDonald's." Auntie say, "Ain't happening."
Right.
Nobody's going to go to McDonald's. that
Right,
day.
yeah,
They're all going to go where auntie, because auntie is the OL.
absolutely.
And any group, for that matter, any group has their own OL. The whole country has an OL.
Yes,
A whole family has an OL. Any business has there's always that person who emerged. It
absolutely.
may not necessarily be the CEO or whatever, but he teaches you to figure out who that is and talk to him.
Absolutely.
Once you have him, you're all done. For example, I'll give you an example. What he does, for example, he suggests in the book, is to FedEx him. Have you ever thought about that? When the FedEx goes to the name of the person, well, if you send it to him, that FedEx is going to make it to him.
Absolutely.
And they're going to treat it like a high, hot priority communication. You will reach him. That's one example. I don't know out of how many. But it makes no sense to me. If you want to reach him, send the FedEx to him. Guess what? If FedEx, the very person who told you is not available, going to take it to him
Absolutely.
right away.
Yeah. Have to sign for the package and take it to the person who has to receive the
Exactly.
package. Absolutely.
That's a sure road to hit that person. That's one example out of how many. The greatness about that book is that he did it, and he's writing about it.
Yes.
So it's real. It's not somebody figure out some theory in
Right.
an ivory tower.
Right.
No, you can say he experienced it, he's writing about it.
Absolutely. And I believe that sales, too, is thinking outside of the box. And FedExing a package to someone like that to get their attention, grab their attention and their interest, is thinking outside of the box. You have to be very creative in sales and really try to come up with things that could really captivate the person to make them give you a call or say, come on, let's have a meeting about it. Absolutely.
So I highly recommend that book, and it will read, I mean, it is unbelievable.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's get back to our subject over here.
Sure.
Which is you, by the way.
Okay.
Okay, so what would you consider your biggest success in sales?
I believe my biggest success in sales was one, I was working under the tutelage of this young lady. She had a construction business, and she hired me as her vice president of business development. And my position in the company was to go and get the government sales to bring to the table. And I worked on this very big project for her, and it was I believe it was like a $50 million type deal. And with that company, it was a lot of people that were involved in the process. And I instrumentally took it and ran with it because I made the point of contact to the decision maker. I was able to reach the captain, who was the end user to what we were trying to buy, or excuse me, sell to him from our company. And it was a process, a long process, and the team went down and they had to do presentations. They came and did an informal, then they did a formal. But at the end, I believe all came out happy and on top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Now, there's one thing I would like to mention about sales. I'm very excited about this show because I wanted to do it for a long time. We talked about people having a problem being sold, or people not liking sales.
Yes.
And at the same time, we see clearly that for us to have an economy, we have to have sales going.
Yes.
It brings things to one single conclusion. People who do not like sales have had a bad experience in sales.
That is a very true statement.
And they have had a bad experience in sales only because they went into a sales cycle and it was not a win-win.
Correct.
It brings me to this point. I think that salesmen, I've been in sales myself, I think it's fundamental for the salesman to be very honest. The most single important skill or virtue of a salesman is not even the technique, the skill, I think the honesty. In the sense that if he knows that the product may not help or is not good enough, he should tell the customers.
Absolutely.
And be crystal clear with him.
Right.
I think that if he does that, then the sales keep happening.
Right.
It doesn't have a problem.
Correct.
Because think about it, to survive we need sales, but the whole country goes like that when it comes to sales. Well, we're not going to make it.
Exactly.
So something went wrong, and I think that to improve it, we have to demand that a salesman, as far as they can, be honest, forward, and correct with the person. Then they can sell, and then they can keep selling.
Absolutely.
I'm not even blaming on the salesman. I'm just saying something was wrong in the process. It may not necessarily be the salesman, but I'm just saying something is wrong there because for us to make it, we need sales. So sales shouldn't be something, you may or may not like it, that's understandable, but not lacking it or pushing back at it or having some negative emotions is not right. And we can take that out by just doing a good job.
Absolutely. And I think the mindset of a salesperson or business consultant is that, yeah, your mindset is to go in and win the business, to close the sale. I really take it from a different approach because I believe that if you go in and definitely want to sell this service or product, you know, you got to sell yourself. And it does have to be a win-win for everyone involved. And most people, you have to come with the mindset also is that you have to have a business solution. What are you going to be able to offer this company with what your products and services are? Come in with the solution to offer them. And then you have to have a mindset is, most people say, you know, WIIFM, what's in it for me? And that's what you have to go into because the customer is going to say, okay, so if I come on board with you, what's in it for me? What am I getting? And I always share with them, well, we look at the pricing that we're offering you, look at the product that we're offering you, and then the bottom line is you have me personally now as your personal point of contact,
Gotcha.
as a personal business consultant, and then we can look at growing the business, helping you to streamline so you can have more productivity in your business by concentrating on things in the bigger picture for the company.
Very good. All right. Now, you have a catering business.
Correct.
Okay, tell us about it.
Well, I've always had...
Why don't you give us the name first to begin with?
Oh, sure. Someone's in the kitchen. And I've always had a love and a passion for cooking from a little girl with my aunt and my mom and people in my family. They just love to cook. And I just used to love to be in the kitchen. And from since then, it's been a passion, and I just love it. I do church functions, banquets, weddings, expos, you name it. I'll just get out there and do it. But yeah, it's phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your customers in that business?
Mostly it's a lot of the churches that I have done, like banquets.
Oh, I gotcha.
I'll go and to different venues that are having, weddings and things of that nature, and solicit services there, and then do weddings for people. And it's usually word of mouth. People know me. I've gotten great references with different companies and different people who have had their weddings and things of that nature. So it's been great.
There's one thing that can also be done. You can go to different venues, like the one where we host the Breakfast Club. Yes. By the way, you should know that we have a Breakfast Club. Yes, I should mention that here. Every second or third Thursday of the month, it's at the Old Town Hall. And our website can be seen here, blnbc.com. They have a list of the different people offering catering, this, that, the other thing. And I don't think you even have to pay for anything to get on the list.
Absolutely. And I did speak with the gentleman there the day that I was there and inquired about that. And he gave me 2 of the business cards, and he told me to reach out to these people and they could give me more information about it. So yeah, I think I'm ahead of the game.
Congratulations. Well, you should do that to all the different locations. You can just tap and then get the list and then contact them and then send them your information.
Yeah, that would be great.
Getting those, all those different sites.
Yeah. And it's definitely a gift. And I just love it. I love it.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Excellent. Now, what advice would you give to somebody in sales?
It takes the mindset of a very strong person with a tenacious personality that's a go-giver, go-getter, never giving up, never looking back, keeping their hands to the plow, having a great confidence in what they want to succeed at in the sales environment, and making themselves available. If they go in again with the mindset that, I have something that I can offer this person. They need what I have. And then you go in and uncover and create this opportunity for that company. And you're going in with the win-win. It's going to be a win-win for me. It's going to be a win-win for them. And then I'm going to show them what's in it for them. At the end, I believe you can be a success in that arena.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Thank you. The reason we take the subject of sales and we want to make a special show on that is because it is very key.
Yes.
Think about it. If you don't have a good sales cycle taking place, people who produce a product are stuck with the product.
Yeah.
On one side. On this side, you have consumers needing the product, cannot get the product.
Absolutely.
So this sales cycle is very key, is very fundamental, because that's what bridges the producer to the consumers, and of course, boosts the economy.
Yes.
So it's very, very key. So that's what we're talking about it. And we mentioned again, the first book that I mentioned, one of the great books we have that we'd like to suggest is Big League Sales from Less Than. And the second one, which is Selling to the Veto, which I strongly suggest anybody else who want to sell to corporate, so they can use.
I've read a great book by Dale Carnegie called How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a great book. Who Moved My Cheese?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Is a great book. It's all about adapting to change. And you usually have to understand that as a salesperson, consultant, either inside or outside, you have to know that you're going to have to adapt to change, because change is always happening. Whether we want to change or not, change is always happening. And if you're a person that can position yourself to change and move within the industry as it's moving and stay ahead of the game and be that person that you're going to make it to the finish line, you could be a great success.
Okay.
Yep.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes, talking about sales, we have mentioned that we have the Breakfast Club, which we host second or third Thursday of the month.
Yes.
But also, you should know twice a year, in May and December, we put on an expo.
Yes.
Our next expo, matter of fact, Yvette will be there.
Yes.
Our next expo will be on December 7. You can see the slide on it here. It will be in Reston, the Kinetic building. Will have 100 exhibitors and 400 to 500 business people. You are all welcome to come and attend this event. And also, we still have some opening for exhibitors and sponsorship. So if you are interested, contact us. We'd definitely love to have you with us. Now, I have another question for you.
Sure.
What do you consider is the best section or the strength in sales? I know you mentioned the attitude, but what else would you consider being the key to become a successful salesman?
Being able to effectively sell yourself. Because really, you know, it is about the product and service that you are serving. But we live such in a society that we have to quickly be able to go in and gain the rapport of that person. You have just maybe that first minute or two to really gain the trustworthiness of that person. A lot of people don't have time, they're busy, they have a lot on their plates, they're thinking about what they need to do tomorrow and not really thinking about the moment today. So your focus really has to be, as a salesperson, is that selling yourself. Selling yourself. And selling yourself is a strong entity in the industry. You know, I can't do everything, but I can do something. I can make a difference in how I position myself as a salesperson.
Okay. You've done that well, now that we've done that for well over 20 years.
Yes,
and made a living out of it.
Absolutely, and I've had great successes with it. With every company, with my own personally. It has been a great, great success. And I'm looking even to get in more with a greater footprint to really still be a trendsetter and a trailblazer as a sales or a business consultant, if you will.
Okay. Very good. Well, folks, where do you hear it from a very good salesperson?
Thank you.
Yes, we're not done yet.
I was just saying thank you. You were giving a compliment.
Again, she has a catering business, so folks, if you need catering business, feel free to contact her. You can see her information on the screen. Her email is there, as well as the name of the company, which is?
Someone's in the kitchen.
Someone in the kitchen. It won't be me in the kitchen, I can tell you that. But someone will be in the kitchen.
But not Brazil.
Motherfucker, you don't want me in the kitchen. But that's another story. Yes, I'm very excited about this show. You can watch this show. Our show comes on Cox and also Verizon Fios and Comcast. It's shown on Tuesday at 9 p.m. On Wednesday, right after midnight. Also on Saturday at 2 p.m. We'd love to have you see those shows because we're putting together information that we consider will be valuable to you and your business.
Absolutely.
Very good. Any last word for our guest?
No, I am just excited to be invited on board, and I look forward to be doing great things.
Okay.
Yes.
Looking forward to having you at a breakfast event, which we host the second or third Thursday of the month.
Absolutely. I will be there.
Very good. At the Old Town Hall FAIRFAX, nearby here. And also, as I mentioned already, our big expo we're having on December 7th. You can see the website there, www.ultbizexpo.com. Again, if you missed it, we'll have about 100 exhibitors there and 400 to 500 business people. That will be a great place for you to come and drum up some business.
Absolutely. Networking is key.
Yes, you are correct.
And building relationships are paramount.
Absolutely. Definitely. In today's world, building relationship is the key because, well, I think the more the society goes technological, the more people need the contact with people.
Yes.
We see it when you pick up the phone, dial an 8-number number, and then they say push this number and push this. all of us go, oh, can I just talk to a human being?
Yes, yes.
So the
yes.
more it goes technological, the more we need the relationship.
Absolutely.
So that relationship become very, very paramount
Yes.
in doing business in today's world.
You got to be hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Personal contact, my viewpoint, was, is, and will be the surest way to do business.
Absolutely. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel has already been invented.
You said it. Again, thank you very much. So we're looking forward to having you again on our show. And as I said, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On that note,